Hi everyone, welcome, and today I'm going to show you how to use polygon textures inside of Modo and Vray. Now I already have my basic scene set up here, and if I go over here, this is the tiles material that I'm going to be applying to the sphere. Now it already has a basic Modo material already applied, so I just want to delete this. And then selecting the tiles, I want to add a Vray material. Now the first adjustment that I'm going to make is just, I'm going to drag the color down to black, and I'm going to make the reflection color all the way at white. And this will just help us to see the effects more clearly. So I'll just render this out very quickly. And there you go, we've got a very nice shiny sphere right now. So let's load our first map in, and that's going to be a displacement. So I'm going to take my 16-bit displacement here, and then drag it onto the tiles. Next, I want to change the effect. So go down here, go to surface shading, and choose displacement. And I'll just give this a quick render. And there, now we can see the displacement clearly working. However, it's a little strong at the moment. So in order to go and adjust that, click your Vray material, and then go over to this tab right here, the Vray material common. And then I'll just change my displacement distance from 20 to 5. And then just render this out again. And there you go, that's giving it a much more subtle effect now. Right, so let's load our other maps in. So I'm going to choose my color, my gloss map, my 16-bit normals, and reflection. And then I'll just drag them onto the tiles material. Okay, so before anything else, I'll just rearrange this a bit. So I'll put the color on the top, put the gloss under that, then the reflection, and there we go, the normal displacement. Okay, now the next thing that we need to do is change the effect for each of these different map types. So for the color, I'm going to click here, go down to Vray Material Channels, and choose Diffuse Color. For the gloss, again go down to the material, and I want to choose Reflection Glossiness. For the reflection channel, I'm going to load it into Reflection Color. And then for the normals, I'm just going to plug that into the Surface Shading Normal. And I'll just render this out. Now as you can see, it's not looking correct at the moment. And that's because we need to make an adjustment to the reflection color map. So click this, go up to Texture Layers, and then just invert this map. Then I'll render it again. And there we have it. Now all the maps are functioning correctly. And now that that's done, let's add some surface imperfections to this so it's not quite as clean looking. So go click your tiles material. And I want to add another material, and it's going to be again a Vray material. And I'll just make sure to set the color to 1 so that it's a pure white. And make sure to take this material and drag it on top of all the other maps. I'll just rename this to an overlay. Okay, now that that's on top, if I render this out quickly, you'll see that the overlay material has overwritten everything else beneath it. And that's not what we want. So we're going to be using an image to drive the transparency of this material here. So we're going to be using this one right here, this Dirt Wipe 05. And it's a primarily black image with white details. I'm just going to drag this onto my tiles. And then once it's in the scene, we want to take this and then drag it on top of our overlay material. And then that will serve as a mask, so you can see it down there. And if I was to render it again, we'll see the mask taking effect. And there we go. So we're seeing the overlay texture working on top of the sphere. However, I'd like to make a few adjustments to this. So go and make sure now that your texture is selected. And then navigate to the Texture Locator tab. And I'm going to change the wrap to make the details smaller. So I'll set to a value of 3. Render this out. And there we go, the details are smaller now. Another adjustment I might make is to uncheck this right here. And then by adjusting the values here, you can change the U and V offset to more precisely place the image. Now, the one last thing I might do is to go back to the textures layer and then increase the contrast. So if I adjust the low value to -30, it'll take the black areas and just make them even darker. And if I take the high value and put this to, let's say, 170, it'll take the white values and make them all the stronger. So now I'll render this out and we'll see a big change in the contrast. And there we have it. And you can further play with the contrast by adjusting the gamma down here. So it's really just a matter of playing between all these different settings to get the right look for your object. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.